Have you ever wanted your text or logo to dissolve into a clean cinematic particles inside of DaVinci Resolve? Well, this tutorial walks you through the exact Fusion setup step by step. By the end, you will know how to build a professional particle dissolve animation you can use on any project. So let's jump in. We have this Text Plus title on our timeline, and we're going to move over to the Fusion page. We see a template node connected to the media out. This template node is basically the Text Plus node. The first thing we're going to need to do is wipe everything off of the text. So we're going to add a channel boolean. So with the template selected, go up here to the channel boolean and click that. That will add a channel boolean into our node tree. Drag the fast noise in the toolbar and add it to the composition. From there, we're going to ask the output of the fast noise to the blue input, which is the effects mask. This connects the fast noise node and uses it as a mask input. Bring the fast noise node into the left viewer. I would suggest that you always preview your mask so it makes it much easier to understand what's happening. In the channel booleans node, select that and go into the settings and multiply by mask. Make sure that is checked. With the fast noise selected, go over to the color page in the inspector. This is where we're going to start shaping our dissolve behavior. We're going to change the color type to gradient. We're going to switch the gradient type to linear. We're going to take the input X and change the value to about 0.2 and then change the alpha down to 0. Now black will turn transparent. Move the white color of the middle of the gradient bar to about 0.5, which is halfway. When we change the offset of the fast noise, this move acts like a mask, and this single control is what drives the entire animation. To change the edge style, go to the noise tab. Here we can adjust the noise pattern with these parameters. We're going to change this one to about 10, and the current contrast is 0, but as you can see, there is a straight line basically here. When you move the contrast, you can see right now the words start to dissolve or disappear because of the mask in the same relationship as the mask itself. Change the noise patterns to how you want. Anything here can completely change the look of your results. We're going to go with 0.75 for contrast, leave the brightness where it is, and we're going to change the scale to about 5. That will make it a little bit more defined on the edge. Back to the color page, make sure that the playhead is at 0 at the very beginning. This is where we start animating the resolve, and later I'm going to tell you how you can get a full DRFX file for this or how you can create your own. So what we're going to do now is we're going to add a keyframe to the offset parameter. What we're going to do is add a keyframe right here, and we're going to change the offset until all of the words are fully visible. You want them to be all visible here, and when they're visible, you're going to now move to the end of the clip, and we're going to take and move our offset all the way to where it actually hides all of the words, and that will automatically create yet another keyframe. So now when you play this clip back, you can see that it dissolves away much more naturally. If you're finding you're having a hard time with the rendering and playback, you want to change the proxy handling and select preferred proxies, and then check the timeline playback resolution. I usually set it to 1/4, and the render cache, we're going to use it as smart. With those settings, it should help your processor a little bit easier and quicker to manage. If you want more linear effects, just go to the noise tab, and while you're playing this, you can actually see that the contrast will change the way the words will dissolve. With it at 0, it's more like a straight line like we had showed before, and when you change the contrast up, the particles or the word itself will start to dissolve randomly. So we're going to leave us at right now for about 0.75. Now go and select the channel booleans node, and in the inspector select the settings. With that, we're going to go down to the alpha or to the actual channel control, and high, we're going to move this. As you can see, when you define refine this more, your line will become more straight. Fullness, it's going to be randomized better. We're going to put this at about 0.5. And when this plays back, it does still look good, and it's not a complete straight line. We have now made a noise wiping effect to wipe off the main text title. So this is the foundation for everything from here builds on this. Now we're going to add another Booleans node. This second Booleans node is where we're going to make a new mask when the particles are created. Next, we're going to take and branch out from the template to the input of the Boolean node. We're going to take and drag that up into our left viewer. We're going to go over to the settings tab on the Booleans 2, and we're going to make sure that multiply by mask is turned on. Now we're going to make a copy of the fast noise, and we're going to then paste an instance of that node. And this is where everything is going to be linked together, but still gives us control between the two masks. Now we're going to connect the instance node to the second Boolean node as the effect mask. So it's going into the blue input of the Boolean, and then we're going to take and drag that fast noise into the left-hand viewer. With the fast noise 1 still selected, the instance of it, go over to the color page. What we're going to do, you see all these green boxes. They are all boxes indicating that they are the exact same values as the first fast noise. What we're going to do is we're going to go to the offset, and we're going to de-instance that. What that means is it just removes the value that was set from the other node. We're going to reset it by double clicking the word offset, or you can just type in 0. We're going to make a simple expression out of this, and you can do that by either right clicking and go expression, or you can just type in the equal sign and enter, and in the expression we're going to give it the fast noise 1.offset minus 0.5 and enter. What that's going to do is it's going to give us a 0.5 delay between the fast noise 1 and the fast noise 2. If we bring the original fast noise node into the right viewer, we can compare the difference as we move forward. You can see that the instance travels a bit behind. What this is, the delay will create that trailing particle effect. For the particle emitter, we only want to use a slice of the image to render the particles. So we're going to connect the output of the original fast noise to the blue mask input of the instance node. From there, we're going to go over to our inspector and go to settings. We're going to apply mask inverted, and that will give you just a small line, and that's where the particles will be generated at. So we're going to go to the channel Boolean 2, and if it is not already selected, go to the settings and make sure that the multiply by mask is active and check mark. From there, what we do is we can move our playhead, and you can see that the instance will follow the main fast noise. So with our channel Booleans in the right viewer, we can move the playhead, and as you can see, you now have letters appearing exactly where the mask is in the instance node. If you don't see that, you need to go back and actually check and make sure that you have the mask turned on. Now this is where the effect really starts to come together. So we're going to add a particle emitter and a render node, and we're going to connect the emitter to the render. Now we're going to select the emitter and go over to the region tab inside of the inspector, and we're going to change the region from sphere to bitmap. We're then going to take the output of the Boolean 2 and put that to the input of the emitter node, and then take the render output and connect that to the channel Boolean 1 node. That will automatically create a merge. Now with all of this, you should be able to start seeing some particles. If you don't see particles itself, what you need to do is go up to the 3 dots and change checker underlay and remove that check mark so it's actually gone. You can change the number of particles in the emitter right here under the inspector inspector and change that, say, all the way up to 100 for right now. And now, as you can see, the effect is starting to take a little bit of shape, but it's not rendered with the color of the text. To better see the results, make sure you uncheck the checkerboard background. So now this is where you're going to see the big improvement. With the emitter node selected, we're going to go up to the Controls tab in the inspector, and we're going to change color to use color from region. We're also at this point going to change the number of particles to 1000. From there, we're going into the Style tab, and we're going to change this from point to blob. With the blob being selected, you're now going to have size control ability. We're going to change that to about 0.2 for the size, and we're going to change the variance to about 0.1. So that just changes the size of the blobs independently. In the Controls tab, we're going to change the velocity to about 0.1, and we're going to set the angle to about 30, and the angle variance also to about 30. So now when you play this clip, you can actually start to see the particles actually dissolving the letters and floating away. So now let's push this a little bit further and make it feel more cinematic. We're going to move the P emitter over to make room. We're going to go Shift Space, and we're going to put in and add a P turbulence node. What we're going to do there is we're going to change the XYZ strength, and we're going to make it, say, about 0.7, and we're going to make it keep it at 0.1. So now when you do play this back, it starts to look a little bit more animated because it's actually getting a lot of turbulence in here, but we can still make it just a little bit better. So what we're going to do now is we're going to highlight the turbulence and Shift Space and add a P tangent force. With that selected, we're going to change the offset to about -0.2 and the Y offset to about a -0.23. So now that when you play this back, you will see that it actually goes and explodes in different directions. This is going to be the final results, and as this renders, it's going to look really good. It's going to be good on any logo, it's going to be good on any text or any graphics. These are the different wiping effects that you can get in this tutorial. What you need to do is go over and highlight the instance fast noise, and you can leave it as linear. See this green line? This green line has a start and an end. The start is where it starts, and the end is where it ends, of course. So as you see right now, the particles are dissolving from left to right. So from start to end is where the particles are dissolving. If you want it to dissolve the other way, you can just take and move the start at the end and move the end in. And what that's going to do is going to give you the dissolve effect from right to left. So one is left to right. This is right to left. Now you can change that, and you can make it so that it goes from top to bottom and just move it start to the top, the end towards the middle, and then you're going to see that the particles will dissolve from top to bottom. If you don't want that, if you want it to actually dissolve in the center, we're just going to take and move our start and finish in the center of the word. We're going to go over to the gradient type and change it from linear to reflect. And now when you play it, it's going to dissolve where the end is, and it's going to go left and it's going to go right. So it's going to dissolve from the middle outward. There's a lot of different little features in here that you can use, and a lot of features that are still yet to be seen. Experiment with this a little bit and you can see just how powerful this actually is. There is a full DRFX file in the link below. So that is all for today, and thanks for watching. Please give us a like, and if you're new to this channel, please consider to subscribe for more tutorials. Until then, I will see you next time, and have a good day.